All content is on easy mode with this build. And it's not even a spirit-born build, which automatically makes it just that much better. It's the mightiest of throws, and it's the strongest build in Diablo 4 with a few disclaimers. Alright, so how does this lovely build work then? Well shit, it's a snapshotting god. That's why you're seeing the permanent overpowers. So first things first, what is a snapshot? Basically you get some kind of buff before you use an ability and get to use that buff for the entire duration. In the Mighty Throw case, you throw one of these bad boys at the ground, and for the entire duration, it's pulsating. You get to keep the buffs. And in this setup, you're utilizing Bash to gain an overpower, you throw out a weapon, and then you overpower each time. It's insanely easy to set up unless you're trying to push the highest of pits. And why is that? Well, damn, because there are tons of buffs you can snapshot. In this guide, though, we're only going to use the overpowers, as I'll otherwise melt your demented old boomer brains. Other than that, though, the build is insanely fun and easy to play. You just run around, press all of your cooldowns, then rotate between using Bash and Mighty Throw. And on large packs of enemies, you'll always overpower anyways, seeing as we can temper Bash Cleave, get 4 crits instantly for the overpower buff, and then throw out one of our weapons. Easy peasy. When it comes to the other skills, it depends a lot on what you're doing. When pushing or fighting tough content, you'll use Steel Grasp, and preferably also Hote. When speedrunning, though, just grab Leap instead, and you'll become fast as fuckboy. The other skills will remain the same, though. I'm rocking Wrath of the Berserker and combining it with Ground Stomp to reset its cooldown. I'm also combining this with the Earthquake aspect and Rune along with the Rumble glyph to gain a massive damage bonus while we have all of our Earthquakes up. Alright, let's check out our ripped Santa and the gear and aspects making the build work, shall we? And you will know exactly what you're going to need. I've also prepared an Uber and non-Uber version for you, just in case you dogshit newbies don't have any epic mythics just yet. And starting us right off, we have the Heir of Perdition. This one is just God Tire, as it solves the crit chance for you by pretty much itself. Other than that, though, the Bastard Helmet is the name of the game. 80% damage bonus? Yes, thank you. I would be using this instead of the Heir if I had a bunch of GA crit chance on my gear, as that could take me above the edge when combined with elixirs. But right now, I'm rocking the Heir and focusing on masterworking the core skills. Most of my gear ain't fully masterworked yet, proving once again that I'm a lazy bastard. Next up, we have the Shroud. This is by far the best Uber, because not only does it boost all of your passives and in turn allows you to skip passives such as Tough as Nails and automatically gain Thorns, along with granting you a humongous damage bonus from the remaining passives. But it's also bugged and doubling the damage of Unconstrained. Typically, you would go with Unbridled Rage and get a fuck-ton of resource generation, but now we can rock this instead for even more damage. You can see the extra damage bonus if we remove the Shroud here. Just lovely. If this is fixed, which I doubt it will for a while, then you can go with either Unconstrained if you lack resources or Unbridled Rage for big damn. And of course, you want to masterwork the all stats to gain a massive damage bonus, both directly via strength and indirectly via boosting dexterity and crit chance. Next, we have the gloves. The most important here, along with the pantaloonies, is to get Mighty Throw pulse size. This is due the Mighty Throws fucking off to Uganda when using the Herculean Spectacle aspect. Shout out to my bitch, lovely guy Dalcora, for showing it in his video. I'm also using the Limitless Rage aspect here for big damn. Next up we have the pantaloonies. Here we rock the Relentless Berserker aspect as to keep berserking up permanently as we're pushing and shit's refusing to die. This is also the slot in which you can sort out your defensives. All resistances, armor, or whatever you need belongs here. You're going to become an absolute tank, using this build as you get a massive barrier via your throbbing mighty pulses, making the build disgustingly easy to stay alive with and allowing you to focus less on your defensives. Next, we have the sneakers. Ideally, you would get GA on the cooldown reduction here as well, as you can then reduce the cooldown for Wrath of the Berserker and keep it up permanently, because when this is up, you're gaining a 75% damage increase. And that's pretty massive, not unlike something else, you dirty dog. This is also an awesome place to sort out your resistances, as it provides you with a massive all-resistance bonus. And don't look at the masterwork ranks here, it's obviously an error on your behalf, LMAO. We then have the weapons. The Herculean aspect is by far the strongest of all the aspects, granting just a massive damage increase. When it comes to the masterworking, you will be capped on the Mighty Throw double damage when you're using 3 regular weapons, so don't try to masterwork it. If you're using the Granddaddy, however, then you, of course, want to triple masterwork it, though. And that's because we need to temper Bash Cleave on one of our weapons. Here I'm also using the Earthquake aspect, along with the third blade, which is the reason this build even works. This is the only requirement of this build, and you want to focus on getting as high of a roll as possible on the aspect. Mine is dog shit, but it's all good. And finally, you want a pole arm, as it's the biggest DPS increase both via the Perragons and weapon arse anal. Another thing to note is that you want your runes to be in your weapons, as strength is simply goated as fuck, and you want the Earthquake 1 when casting core skills as to boost the Rumble Glyph, and the Warcry 1 combined with spending resources. Just lovely. When it comes to our jewelry, we're rocking the Banished Lord's Talisman for the biggest dick damage possible. You want to focus on the aspect, the core skills, and attack speed here. Max life is also decent, as we'll be overpowering constantly, and max life increases our overpower damage. For the rings, you preferably want to rock the Starless Skies for massive damage and ease of play, but it's not a requirement, as you may as well just use a regular ring for lower Wrath of the Berserker cooldown. You would then use the Edging Master and conceit it on the other ring. Well damn, gear and aspects done. Let's see what's going on in the arsenal department. Two-handed axe expertise, yeah, what a surprise. And the mercenary? Well damn, Subo is my guy for the wall hack and 25% damage increase. The cannibal baddie is also great as reinforcement for the attack speed bonus. Hey, will you look at that? It's already skill tree a fucking clock, and you know it, baby. Let's do it. But first, drop a sub, will ya? Because I'm back on the Barb, and that deserves a goddamn sub. Typically, we drop a wet fart on the basic skills, but now we're forced to suck it back in because it's a massive DPS buff for us using Combat Bash and overpowering all the time. After that, we go for Warpath for the damage increase, along with 1 point in Pressure Point, simply to progress to the next tree. Here we pick up Ground Stomp, along with Strategic Ground Stomp, which we use to reset Wrath of the Berserker. While farming, I'm also using Rallying Cry for the movement speed and Unstoppable, simply making the build way easier to play. Now, if you don't have the Shroud, then you must grab 2 points here, as else you don't have bleeding and miss out on some nodes in the Perragons. In the brawling skills, we pick up some damage and booming voice to keep up our shouts. You can also grab Leap or Charge instead of Steel Grasp here. I would then recommend Leap for the PC Gigachads and Charge for the dogshit console players, seeing as you can't aim Leap for shit with a controller. Expose Vulnerability is then our only real source of vulnerable, and it's insanely easy to keep up. We also have a bunch of DPS passives here, along with Steel Grasp if you decide to use it, and our lovely Mighty Throw with its Fighter's Mighty Throw bonus for both damage and barrier. We then go for the ultimates, where we only grab the two-handed bonuses, as you want to be using your pole arm for Mighty Throw. You'll of course also use bash on the two-hander, which you hopefully understood by now, unless you're dumb as shit, of course. Which if you are, it's all good. I'm here to help. We then grab all the points in Wrath of the Berserker and finish it all off with the bugged, unconstrained key passive. Absolutely lovely, my friends. If you don't have the Shroud, then you could also pick up 1 or 2 points in Invigorating Fury or Raid Leader. I tempered Raid Leader onto the Pantaloonies and used that as our main heal in this build. Typically, you'll have a massive barrier for your entire health, but it's a good backup with some self-sustain as well. Well, damn, my friends, skill tree successfully completed. What do you say we check out the Perragons now? No? You need a break from the big brain thinking? Fine, let's check in with the German Beavis to see what he is up to. Just as we expected, still dropping bangers left and right. Now that you have some energy restored, let's check out the Perragons. Starting us right off, I'm using Challenger for the damage bonus. This is also a great place to dump all of your spare Paragon points as to boost both strength for damage and dex for crit chance. We will also grab some additional crit chance and attack speed along the way, and I'm currently sitting right at that 100% attack speed and crit chance when chugging some incenses. We then go for Decimator, which we will keep up permanently, and Socket might real hecking good for the damage bonus and boosting our nearby nodes. Next, we go for Blood Rage, which you need to get capped. If you get 1 temper somewhere on your gear, along with the Perragons, then you'll get capped no problemo, as you only need 300%. Here we are also socketing Marshall as to help reset our cooldowns and pick up all the lovely max life and resistances along the way. Next, we go for Carnage for the attack speed and slap on the Executioner glyph. This is a massive boost to our damage, and we therefore need to use a polearm. And finally, Weapon Mastery. There's not a single legendary node that actually helps us apart from this, but using this, we can then grab less resource generation, which is helpful. You'll swap weapons every time you rotate between Bash and Mighty Throw, so it's a pretty massive Fury generation bonus. We then finish it all off with Rumble, which we use only for the 50% damage increase via Earthquakes. This Paragon is also lovely, seeing as we have 15% extra attack speed right here, bringing me to the attack speed cap in the first attack speed bucket. Absolutely lovely, am I right? No? Well, fuck you then. In any way, that's the Perragons. I hope you're hyped to start blasting, because it's finally time to get hecking good, my friends. As previously stated, the build is insanely easy to play. I do, however, have a quick setting tip for you that helped me out a bunch. Due to Mighty Throw being ranged and you being able to throw it wherever the fuck you want, Bash can screw you up without this setting. Because if you're blasting out Mighty Throws and then Bash wants you to run to the targeted enemy. But if you get the hold position to the same button like here, then you're just bashing in place. Helped me out a bunch. The only thing you need to do before busting out a gazillion Mighty Throws is to get this counter stacked up to 4 by bashing enemies in the face. Once this is done, you will have a guaranteed overpower, and you want to spend that on your Mighty Throw. When that is done, you do the rotation of 1 bash, followed by 1 Mighty Throw, and repeat. When it comes to the other skills, you can use Steel Grasp, Halter, or whatever the fuck you want. If you're rocking Steel Grasp, then you simply pull enemies in and blow them up. As Steel Grasp is on 0 cooldown due to the third blade along with us having unconstrained for lower resource spending, you can pretty much just pull in and stack up the entire instance if you want. Just make sure to take a break once in a while and actually hit enemies, or else you'll dial Mao. If you're rocking Halter, then you need to spend one of your precious guaranteed overpowers to utilize the Violent Halter buff. The other skills, though, are easy peasy. You press Wrath of the Berserker and Rallying Cry whenever they are up, and once enemies are stacked up and Wrath of the Berserker is on cooldown, then you can pop Ground Stomp to reset the cooldown again. It's just that easy, folks. Other than that, you just blast, man, and have some good damn fun. Try to ignore what the cringeborns are doing and your fun will automatically quadruple. Okay, that's all for me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.
Thanks for watching the video, my fellow divorced boomer gamers. Subscribe to Perragons right now, or I will drop kick your ball sack into the pavement. Yeah, fuck 'em. Watch this video as well, and like and share it right freaking now. Oh yeah, my titties are big and leaking, so I'm milked up, or UTF.